My name is Cheri Swalwell, and I'm an author of fiction. My book, Adventure's Invitation, came out in August of this year. It's book one of the Redemption of Green Pine series. Today, I get to read you the first two chapters. Are you ready? Chapter 1, June. How in the world am I supposed to find Amanda in this madhouse? Holly looked around for her best friend, but the mass of bodies trying to register prevented her from doing so. Oh well, we'll figure it out. She can't be that far away. Jeremy stood nervously off to the side with his backpack flung over one shoulder and his sleeping bag and pillow at his feet. Holly wondered why her normally boisterous teenage brother had suddenly turned quiet. Attempting to lighten the mood, Holly got on her tiptoes and nudged her brother's shoulder with her own. Hey, isn't that Scott over there with the rest of the freshmen? Holly wasn't used to seeing her baby brother such a bundle of nerves. I don't know. Jeremy stood with a blank stare, taking in his surroundings as though he were a first-time guest. Sean came up from behind and purposefully knocked Jeremy's hat off his head. Hey, little bro, come on. Go grab Scott. Mitch and I'll show you the ropes, but only tonight. Tomorrow, you're on your own. His shoulders relaxed momentarily before panic set in again. Are you sure the high schoolers can't hang out with the college gang? Dude, trust me, you don't want us old folk holding you back. You're going to have so much fun, you won't want to go home on Saturday. Now get Scott. Let's claim your territory, or you'll be stuck sleeping in the corner. I know from personal experience, you do not want to be known as the freshman who slept in the corner. Mitch laughed. That was hilarious. We learned to claim our spots early after that, didn't we? Holly raised her eyebrows toward the guys, glad to see their little brother returning to normal. Almost. She turned to Mitch and gave him a shy smile. It's been a while since we were in the same group. Maybe. We still haven't received our assignments yet, you know. We could get split up. Mitch grinned. 4 years, little bit, but who's counting? Mitch lowered his voice, then turned concerned eyes on her. I didn't stay too late, did I? Are you tired this morning? Holly smiled. Nothing some Java didn't fix. I'm glad you came over so we could catch up. I am so excited about this summer, and today is when it all begins. Holly jumped up and down, clapping her hands. Mitch gave her his usual sideways hug. I'm going to go help Jeremy and Scott get settled. Then Sean and I will come back and we can all register together. Maybe by then you'll have tracked down Amanda and Luke. Sounds like a plan. Thanks for taking such good care of Jeremy. Who knew he'd be so nervous? We all get a case of nerves when moving from middle school to high school. It's a big change. What about you? Any nerves moving from high school to the college group? Mitch asked. I'm too excited having us all together again to be nervous. After sharing a private smile, Mitch left to catch up with Sean, and Holly began to search for Amanda again, this time in earnest. Scene break. The guys had seats saved for Holly and Amanda. Climbing over Sean and Mitch, the girls settled into the row with Luke on Amanda's other side. Mitch gently took Holly's hand and gave it a squeeze as he leaned close to her ear. Jeremy and Scott are all set. Look, he gestured toward the other side of the room. He's already surrounded by his posse. It didn't take them long to find each other. He's going to be just fine. Holly smiled and leaned close for a side hug. She then straightened, but stayed close. Sean leaned over Mitch, his excitement contagious. Can you believe it, Holly Bear? All of us are finally here together. We talked about it years ago, and it seemed like it'd never come, but here we are. Our kid brother is over there surrounded by his friends, and all of us right here. I don't know about you, but I'm so ready to see what God's going to do. I think it's going to be life-changing. Holly grinned back. What team did you guys get? Amanda and I are in Team T, the trust team. Team T for us, too. You didn't think we'd let them split us up, did you? We have one summer, one mission trip, one adventure together. Next year, Mitch and I are too old, unless we're chaperones, so this is it. Sean relaxed back in his chair, ready and eager for worship to begin. Mitch squeezed Holly's hand, and this time, as the music began and the lights dimmed, he left her hand in his, gently rubbing his thumb in little circular motions. Holly wasn't sure if she would be able to concentrate on worship, as Mitch not only took up the physical space next to her, but invaded her heart. As Holly intentionally focused on the meaning behind the words she was singing, she found herself imagining the throne of Jesus with her at his feet, giving glory to the one who gave it all. She slowly let go of Mitch's hand so she could raise her own and let the Holy Spirit speak to her soul. Mitch had his own eyes closed as he worshiped God in his rich baritone, which complemented Holly's alto perfectly. Once worship was over, Brent, who was in charge of the entire event, got up to speak a few words of encouragement before handling the housekeeping. Okay, now all of the assignments have been handed out and expectations explained. Let me run through the itinerary. When he was finished, he reminded everyone that this was not a vacation. We're here to make a difference. But having said that, I'm proud of each one of you, giving up a few days of summer jobs or sports camps to let God get personal. If you let him, God will move in mighty ways during this next 3.5 days. One last warning though, and this is directed specifically at the high school boys. Brent made eye contact with that side of the room. Treat others as you want to be treated. You were all freshmen once. Mitch and Sean exchanged looks with Luke, knowing exactly what the leader meant. Even though this was a mission trip, kids were still kids, and teenage boys were still ... Chapter 2. Hey, do you want to finish my chips? I guess I ate too much at dinner. Holly held out the bag, shaking it a little to get her friend's attention while keeping her eyes glued on the intense Foursquare game, freshman versus college crew. Mitch bent to pick up his lifeline, which had fallen out of his pocket again, and looked up to see Holly watching him. He tossed the inhaler for her to hold, then turned back to the game, a look of determination on his face. Look at our guys go. I don't know who to root for, Mitch, Sean, and Luke, or Jeremy Scott and his friends. What do you think, Amanda? Are they showing off, or... When Holly glanced over, she found her friend leaned up against the wall, eyes shut, snoring softly. Hey, sleepyhead, wake up. She nudged her friend's leg with her tennis shoe. You're missing your chance to admire Luke's moves. Huh? What? Amanda, startled, jolted upright, then wiped drool from her mouth. You were out, my friend. Did the weeding today wear you out too? I'd have thought your muscles would be bigger than mine working at Luke's family's landscaping business. I know all the lifting I'm doing at Eats and Treats has certainly toned these guns. Holly showed off her biceps, causing Amanda to laugh, which was Holly's goal. I mainly work inside behind the counter, but sometimes when the guys aren't around, I do have to carry things to the customers' cars. I guess I don't use as many muscles as I thought. Do you want my chips? Amanda grimaced, then turned away. No, thanks. Their smell mixed with the hot sun is a little too much. Besides, I think I ate too much at dinner too. Like 2 bites of a hamburger and 3 carrot sticks constitutes a meal. Holly looked at her friend, whose face had turned pale. Maybe you did have too much sun. You're not looking so good. Do you want me to get you some water? Amanda held up her full water bottle and took a swig. Can I ask you a question? Holly's voice wobbled slightly, abruptly changing the subject. Sure. Amanda sat up all the way and faced Holly. She lowered her voice. What's it like? I mean, you guys are together all the time. You love each other. I know you're going to get married. You know you're going to get married. It's a matter of when Luke is going to propose, not if. How do you resist temptation when you've been together so long? Mitch hasn't even tried to kiss me yet. We've technically been dating a year, if long distance dating counts, but we've never even kissed. Maybe he's not attracted to me. Holly hung her head, refusing to look at her friend as she finished speaking. Trust me, girlfriend, Mitch is definitely attracted to you. He even has such cute nicknames for you, like your dad does for your mom. Sean does too, you know. It might be more of a brotherly thing than a boyfriend thing. Holly shrugged. No, there's a reason why only the women in your house have nicknames. I think it's their way of letting you know you're protected and loved. Amanda laughed, then wrapped an arm around her friend. Seriously, Mitch is the type of guy every girl wants. Having a guy love and respect you enough to wait for that first kiss is so worth it. Really? You think that's it? Now it's my turn to be jealous. You and Mitch still have all your firsts. First kiss, first study date, first... What are you talking about? Holly wrinkled her brow. Even though you've already had your first kiss, you still have lots of firsts to look forward to. A romantic proposal, your fairy tale wedding, the wedding night, coming up with a cute way to tell Luke you're pregnant. Amanda fiddled with the water bottle in her hand. Suddenly the boys piled on top of them in a jumbled heap, rubbing their sweat in the girl's skin. Ew, is this another first we have to look forward to? Because this one I can live without. Amanda laughed and pretended to be annoyed. Firsts? Sean gave Holly a surprised look. What have you girls been talking about over here? We thought you were focused on our skill, our muscles, our excellent execution of moves. Holly saw Luke pull Amanda up and whisper in her ear. After a minute, he handed her the water bottle and looked down with such tenderness Holly had to look away. Touching her shoulder, Mitch offered a hand to help her to her feet. Did you girls see any of our game? Sorry. Girl talk. I hope you weren't too hard on Jeremy and his friends. Nah, we let them get enough points so they think they have a shot at beating us next time. Mitch laughed. As Amanda tried to stifle another yawn, Holly felt sorry for her. With a look of regret aimed at Mitch, she turned toward her best friend. Should we head to our room? 5 a.m. is going to come early. Turning back to Mitch, Holly said, Save me a seat at breakfast, or we'll save you all seats if we get there first. Holly locked arms with Amanda and attempted to pull her toward their room. 1 minute, Holly. You go on ahead. I'll be in a little later. Luke and I need to ask Brett and Emily something. It might take a while, so don't wait up. Amanda hugged her friend, took Luke's hand, and walked toward Brent. Holly noticed a hint of sadness in her friend's eye. Or was that fear? I hope you enjoyed reading the first 2 chapters of Adventure's Invitation with me today. You can find this if you want to finish reading it and find out more about what happens to Holly and Amanda and all of her friends at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and where other books are sold. Thank you so much. I had a great time today. I hope you did too. Bye.